ESL Pro League for North America. Do apologize for a little bit of a delay, but of course with a big update happening, things did take a little bit to get settled. But we're back now, and we're getting started with the game. In the meantime, recent development. Kusta is either trolling or is the most genius person ever. Post it to Reddit. Quick, get the karma.
Yep. Odd shot it, boys. Odd shot it. He went ahead and just switched his avatar. So that happened. Needless to say, enemy GG going to be starting off on the CT side and compLexity on the terrorist side, Cash being the map. And going to rock and roll on this one, boys. So, it's Blue, why don't you take us away for the pistol round?
All right, so let's get into it now. compLexity making their push, and it's all going over here towards the A bomb site too now as they just rush right in. Enemy GG playing the retake strat, but we found out while we were on the break, and I'm not sure if compLexity figured this out yet, but there's actually a new angle you can use just to the right of quad to like completely decimate people pushing up highway. So it doesn't look like they're going to try to use it here just as of yet.
Oh, yep. Roka's looking.
Roka's checking it now, so they're using that new angle there. Interesting. We'll see how it plays out when we get the gun. We'll see how it plays out a little bit more, I imagine, when we get into gun rounds, because I think it still reveals you a little bit. But as they push back in, Relic's good job picking up that first kill, but Shinobi trading it right back at them. Now mainline pushing back in. Fine, Shinobi, the trades continue, but so far still in the favor of enemy is Sanks. Unstoppable sitting back in here in quad, but then Uber jumping on top. Sanks to the last man alive. Uber will win it at the end of the day, picks up the kit, but I don't think he's got enough time left. That bomb is going to blow up. Oh, so close, but no. The guys
twice
from
now.
compLexity are going to pick up the pistol round here on map number 2.
CT side on train, CT side on Cash. Same scenario. Comes down to that 1v1, and they get it just a hair too late. So, unfortunately for enemy GG, they're going to be starting on the back foot once again, moving forward into this matchup. And you can see they're going to go for 3 MAC-10s, a Galil, and an AK into this anti-eco round. Not too terribly much invested. Well, Kusta is going to stay on just the silent USP. The rest of them are going to go actually full investment from the CT side. And they're going to stack over here towards the B bomb site and just leave Uber by his lonesome at A. And compLexity reading this right, they're going to barrel into this A bomb site. Should be easy pickings for them to pick up their second round here.
As they creep their way in, it's mainly going to be on Uber to just try and hold things out, but if they decide to push back in, it'll be a little bit of a rough one. Fraud getting hit by that HE grenade. Not a whole load of damage, though. Now the teams are just going to fire back, but they're still taking their good old time about it. Usually happening, too, just in case the CTs try to get a little bit aggressive. The Ts will often just hold back a little bit more to wait that out and try to pick them off so that they don't end up getting surprised when they actually push themselves into the site, and this is exactly what they're doing. But compLexity moved a lot of their players back now, and are putting some presence on the boost, too, to try to get some mid control as well.
Yeah, and look at this. They actually pushed all the way through B, so they're rotating back up towards the A bomb site, and this is going to get a little bit dicey now. They've got 3 players in T spawn. Oh, they got spotted. Oh, God, Roka.
Still handling it quite well, though. Shinobi just switching over to the Glock, finishing off Lucky. And now they pushed in Uber, holding his own for at least one pickup there to shut down Fraud. But now they seem to have pretty good control of the situation. Relic's a little bit sneaky. He's got the armor behind him, too, but in comes Def. Now he's going to have to try to take him down, but aiming a little bit too high there, it seems. So Def will be able to dispatch of him, and compLexity will find their 2-0 star, only losing Fraud along the way.
So 2-0, only losing one of those MAC-10s, not a big loss. They're going to go right back into that MAC-10 for Fraud for the next round, and it's going to be no investment whatsoever from the enemy GG side. They pick up 1 P250, but nothing else. So $1,300 is what the investment is off of those stock pistols and that one upgrade. So moving on forward, and it's just going to be a fast boost up over the top of mid. Relic's over here in the Z hallway looking for anything that he could possibly find, but the only thing he's probably going to find is a face full of bullets here in a minute. But Uber taking a peek, mainline over by Forklift. They've got one up top. That's going to be Kusta. He gets spotted and taken down, and oh, Def, nasty. Swap to the Glock. Finds that frag, and Uber just sitting there in default is going to get cleaned out as well. So Def with a nice little bankroll going forward. You've got 2 players up over 7K into the first buy round. See if they stick on these MAC-10s, because they haven't upgraded yet.
No, and it looks like to start off here on the first gun round for the guys on enemy, just going to go all in on the rifles here. And Kusta even investing for the op as well. Has enough to get armor behind it, so enemy playing it back there. They are able to afford this. A little bit more limited on the utility for quite a few of these players. I mean, they've got enough smokes and whatnot to hold off the initial pushes, but HEs and mollies, we're not seeing a big amount of presence on that. In fact, if there was any, it's gone now. So all they've got now to hold this back is the smokes and flashbangs. So if there's a big play from compLexity, which looks like is what is going to happen now, where you've got 3-4 players pushing up from one angle, could get a little bit rough here as they don't really have anything to stem the tide.
They got to be very careful. They've pulled the distraction off of the highway box, and oh, mainline one tapper. Rooney goes down, and that's going to be Roka cleaning him up. And again, like we said before, they've got these Mac 10s. They've already upgraded one. Roka's going to go in on another one. Kusta coming around the corner now with the AWP, but there's not a whole lot he can do, and actually he just gets a bullet to the head. And now Relics, are you going to peek out? Okay, finally they get rid of Roka, but not until the damage is done. He's 8-2 already into this matchup.
Relic's gonna miss that op shot and now down at 1 HP. He's been surrounded. There's no retreat now. He's gotta sit here, take the duel. But Def will just push right in there first, shuts him down. No saves at all for the guys on enemy, and compLexity continue their conquest forward. Now up to 4 rounds, and a lot of money built up on some of these players too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest part about it. They were able to swap out, got an M4, got an M4A1 out of that last round. Upgraded those Mac 10s for free. 9,400 for Shinobi, 9,100 for Def, and an op in the hands of Fraud already in this matchup. So that's a good nade, though. Def, chipped down to 69.
So, Relic's here, taking some pot shots out towards mid, looking to grab Def, and he almost takes him down too, 28 HP. So he'll be a little bit more passive about his peeking over here towards mid, just looking for a white box shot now, but oh, he actually gets hit again on his way falling back, but he's only dropped down to 24 HP, and finally Roka gets tired of this, just gonna finish it off there, take him down, so no more pressure to worry about here, but enemies still have a large setup here on the A bomb side, and compLexity are about to just walk directly into it. Kusta's sitting here on upper, they've got 2 other players sitting close by, including Uber sitting back over there in the corner spot, and he's gonna get mollied out of it, and they're cleaning this out with class too. Kusta ripping these players apart, getting some good damage, but not enough to take down multiple, only manages to find Roka. Now, Lucky is going to try to sneak in here, and you look at how low Sanks, Def, and Shinobi are, but they find him first. He tries to squeak his way around the corner, but it's far too late. Still too far in the open, and Sanks is going to eliminate him.
So far, there has only been 9 kills in 5 rounds for enemy. That is a rough start. A rough start. I mean, even the last full gun round, they only got 2 kills, I believe, out of that whole round. So this time around, again, Kusta's going to have the op. He's got a molly and a smoke to support. They're going to go for a little bit more mid-control on the enemy side. At least put Uber up in the vents, and they're going to have Relics over there by sandbags, at least to the beginning of the round, along with mainline on highway box, and just leave Kusta to his own accord at the truck to pick in towards A main. But again, it's just very spread out from compLexity. We saw them demolish, I mean, absolutely manhandle, take apart Liquid on this map, and this is one of Liquid's best maps. So enemy, they're very strong on cash, but compLexity have already shown so far this season that they have a very strong cash as well.
So now compLexity taking it slow, waiting things out now here, because they're going to have to wait and see what kind of investment enemy have brought to the table. And they just want to make sure, again, that there's nothing sort of aggressive coming in from the CTs. They haven't really tried for any of that yet, but they're still just playing it safe regardless, as they have been actually on that previous map too. Try to take things quite slow. Actually did end up sort of screwing them over in a couple situations. There was that one where I think it was Def who tried to, with like 5 seconds left, rush his way up to the B-bomb site on train and get the plant, but he got body blocked, so he wasn't able to get there in time. So you guys are going to have to be careful about that, as now they're running the timer, and they've barely really been met with any combat. They've only brought Uber down to about 60 HP. Not a whole lot of map control either, but now they're going to push themselves over here towards the B-bomb site. With that molly, it's done a little bit of damage too, and now Uber, he's going to try to hold things out. Manages to drop the bomb, takes down Shinobi. Now they're forced into making a play. Sanks finding one for the T's, but Relic's immediately trading that back out. Still no site control with 20 seconds left on that clock. Def going for the cross, has the support of his team, but Lucky holding that like a champion, shuts down Fraud and Def. And now it's just Sanks. Nothing he can try to pull off here but a miracle. Looking for those 2 kills. He grabs it, but now he needs to get the plan, and he's not going to be able to do that as mainline shuts him down from heaven.
And you saw that actually at the very end of the round. Mainline pausing over top of that op, asking his teammates, do we want to go for a double op setup on the CT side? And apparently the answer was yes. So Relics actually has the AWP, drops a FAMAS over to Uber. So it's going to be a very... I mean, this is a tough buy here from the enemy side. They don't have a lot of utility. They've got 2 FAMASs, so they're at a firepower disadvantage moving into this one. And again, because of that early huge bank that they've ramped up on the compLexity side, nice nade over the top of mid on the main line, they're going to have a very comfortable buy into this round.
So now they've got the pressure already sitting inside of... Oh, boy.
Never mind!
Kusta with the blind double kill through the smoke, shuts down Sanks along with Roka. Shinobi trying to turn this back on its head. He takes down mainline. They still have to worry about Kusta sitting back over there. They get some damage onto him. Shinobi takes down Lucky. They're actually still having a pretty good chance of this. Down to a 3 versus 2, but Uber, nice shots from him. Able to take down Fraud and Depp before being traded up by Shinobi. Now he's the last man alive, down at 25 HP, looking for the kill onto Relics. He finds it, and now it falls to Kusta to finish things off here. Needs to shut down Shinobi, but still playing super passively, hoping he can rotate it out. But Shinobi's on top of the red box right now. Hasn't found Kusta as of yet. Hasn't checked back over here in the quad corner. He's going to peek him as a blind. He takes it down. Great plays from Kusta.
Yeah, I mean, he opened it up and he finished it off. So nicely done from him. It's just a disappointment that it came down to that 1v1 because, again, the money is so bad on the enemy side right now. They haven't been able to build anything. They've gotten 2 rounds in a row, granted, but 4 rebuys moving into this one. They're very thin ice right now. If they lose this round, it's obviously a save. compLexity, they still have money to buy into this round. They might have money to buy into the next round. And this time around, they're going to go aggressive on B, clear that out, and then just stack that A bomb site. You can see 2 players just going to continue to push on through B, and they're going to get a good position on this one, but it's going to be Relics in mid to try to hold off both Roka, and I believe that was Def with him as they make their way out through the smoke in mid. So they've already got control of middle, and oh, they're actually going to pass each other by as the CT players didn't get there in time. So they're going to make their way up highway, and a team flash a little bit there too. And Uber's not going to get there in time.
Uber with the rat, though, manages to take down Roka before he can get fully up highway. And Lucky sneaking back in here, picking up at least 1 kill for himself. Looking to combo that into his second as he brings Fraud into 38, but he's also in a bit of a rough spot himself, too. But he's got Def completely blind, but he was too slow with the push. So Def, he's able to win the 1 versus 1, taking down Uber. And Lucky pushing in, catches him with his nade out. But thankfully, Def holds the tide, picks things up for his team. Picks up the 2 kills at the end of the round and strikes things right back for compLexity for them to find their 6th.
Yeah, and here's that eco round from the enemy's side. I'd really be surprised if they invest anything into this round, even upgrading any pistols. So, I mean, they are very, very low on money. They don't have any money bonus going into the next round, and they actually force out of this. So, this is a big round right now in the first half. This is one of the biggest rounds you're going to see in the first half right here. Enemy need to do something special on this one, because it's double save territory.
Another nade gets tossed out. Not really going to connect all that much on damage, but does reveal a couple of shots, so it's going to give away the position that now they're going for a quick. They should know that this is going to be a B play, and oh, this is actually going to be bad for enemy because they got aggressive on the A bomb site. Lucky, though, doing some work back over on B, picks up Def and Fraud before being traded down by Shinobi. Now they've got Relics here sitting, but they're going to peek him. Nice play from Shinobi. Takes it slow. Not going to take the risk on getting headshot by him, so they'll take him down first. But now mainline, he starts the wrap. He's going to get a 1-for-1 trade. Keeps it even in a 2 versus 2 situation. They're going to try to overwhelm Shinobi. He holds his own for 1, but is traded back out there by Uber. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Uber's got armor. Shouldn't have too much reason to worry, but Roka on point with his headshots tonight. Takes down Uber and wins the round for compLexity.
Roka's a beast. I mean, when he's on form, he is an absolute animal, and he's shown that right now. I mean, he's 12-6. He's only 2 kills ahead of Sanks and Shinobi, but the big thing is how important the frags have been since he's, you know, started really catching fire here. You saw it in the very first gun round of the matchup where he got that big, I think it was a 3K, almost a 4K, just holding by Catbox in middle and holding by Sandbags in middle. So a lot of work from him, and now we see that save coming out, the full save. They did upgrade to some P250s, but again, they don't have a whole lot of money. They're going to use that money bonus after the 3-round loss, but shouldn't be too much enemy can do in this round.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've been pretty much sent to the depths in terms of where their economy could be. So we'll see the minimal investment we more than likely could see now, and for compLexity, they'll just go right back to this kind of slow play that we were seeing earlier on in the half. Has enemy true to what we needed to see from them. Got aggressive inside of A main, so this makes perfect sense to align with what compLexity are trying to do. They're even keeping Stanks like super far back right now to watch for a push outside of A main, so we can just take a long range battle and dispatch of these guys pretty easily. But it doesn't actually look like mainline or any of these players. Oh, just as I say that, mainline's gonna go for a peek, and well, there we go. He's ripped to shreds. So that play didn't work out very well for him at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a nice peek there from Roka at the B-bomb site actually yields them the first kill on Kusta, who was hiding behind the boxes outside of Checkered. So good find from them so far. Spam through the smoke. Uber trying to distract a little bit because Relics is actually sitting inside of the smoke. He's going to pounce now. And he's going to come around the side. He actually finds one. Can he get a second one? He's got an AK in his hand. He turns around and gets a third. What a play from Relics. Can he get a fourth? He's going to go for the reload and tap the bomb, trying to pull him up. He gets the fourth one as well. Last man standing is going to be Roka coming around from truck side and oh my God, Relics, what a hero play. The ace on a USP save. What a beast.
That's so detrimental now for compLexity. Is that's just going to turn. Basically, we've gone from enemy having to go for this full save and not bring anything into the round to now they've completely upset it, and now they're going to put compLexity into a bit of an uneven situation. Look at their money, 3.3k. They're going to have a buy up here, but it's not going to leave them with anything left. That's a huge turnaround. It has so much impact now for the potential comeback from enemy.
That was absolutely astonishing. God mode play from Relics. Unbelievable. Wow, I have never seen anything like that. On a silent USP save, he just hid in the smoke and pounced at the right time. That's going to be all over Reddit. That was insane.
Lucky, though, getting aggressive in this round. They're going to risk it. He finds a hole in the smoke. Almost manages to grab 2 kills. He brings Sanks down to about 28 HP, but now he's left his teammate alone. That's not going to stop him from fragging, though. A nade comes in, finishes off Sanks. He knew he got him low. And now, look, it's holding the back the tide from compLexity. They're not even going to want to push back into this site. They've given time for Relics to rotate in. He's just sitting in the vents waiting for the take to start. And in the meantime, Kusta peeks back up from heaven, finds a kill. Good response from Def to take down mainline, but now they've got to rotate Uber back in over here. Relics jumping back in. There we go. The play from him and the running headshot to grab Fraud will end the round. Another pickup from enemy.
Relics is feeling it right now. That ace just lit a fire under his ass and he is going in. Wow. So that happened, and now enemy find themselves in a situation where they can actually salvage a pretty decent first half. Obviously, Cash, at least in the North American scene, has kind of started to become more known on their terrorist sides than their CT sides. And right now, if enemy can scrape together, 7 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds here on the CT side, they can definitely be in a position to take this one back from compLexity. And an ace on a save round like that is one of the things that can light that fire. So, awesome stuff.
HE placement's been pretty on point here too from enemy, so you can see another really big impact on this place here. Fraud and Def super low, and now the spray coming back in from the quad boxes there. Uber's brought Def down to about 7 HP. He's going to try to push in. Roka did manage to take down Uber, and a second pickup on towards Relics. This is now becoming just a battle between like Roka and Relics to see who's going to clutch out these rounds back to back to back. But Roka takes a little bit of damage there from the Molly too, has to back away from that one, so he's now down at 44 HP. With the bigger, oh no. That doesn't work. Alright, so Lucky's gonna sneak back in here too, and Fraud has no idea that he's pushed in, but he gets blinded by his own teammate, so he's gonna fall away from this one. Fraud picked up the kill, and we also saw mainline going down, so it's all unlucky. He jumps, gets 1 kill and 2 kill on Roka, but he's running out of time, so he's gotta move in quickly to defuse this bomb. Fraud in the meantime back way away from this one, and he saw Lucky going into the corner. He has to move in. He has to try to attempt this defuse, but I'm not sure if Fraud's realized that he's going for the spray now, but he can't connect these shots. And the ninja defuse rolls out as Fraud fails for a second time in this set at trying to knife the diffuser.
He did get an op though, so there's that. But enemy, that was a scary round. Extremely scary round for them right there. I mean, Roka just came in and beast moded that that A bomb site and just shut that one down real quick. But again, Fraud not being able to close out that round, that smoke too strong, the positioning on the bomb defuse was very, very good as well. And enemy GG find themselves with 5 rounds now on the CT side. So great recovery from them. I mean, they were down at one point, what was it, 7-2 was the score.
Mm-hmm.
So they've brought this one back a little bit, and this is good. So we got a bit of a match now, boys.
So they put Relics up on the boosted position here on the A-bomb site too to make a bigger impact in this round. He's still playing with Uber here on that A-bomb site, but compLexity, they're waiting for an opening pick, and while they've just found it, Fraud with the op, managing to drop Kusta, and that's another huge impact now that's been eliminated from the side of enemy. However, there's another star player from enemy that's really come out to shine in this matchup, and that is going to be Relics, who's currently positioned on the A-bomb site. compLexity, though, haven't necessarily decided on where they want to take this bomb as of yet, but it is leaning towards that site now, based on the movement we're seeing for the team.
That was actually a really sick shot from Fraud in mid. Kusta was just trying to jump peek up towards the boost boxes, and Fraud just hits a ripper on him. Nice pop flash into A main, though, and Uber is going to capitalize. Fraud and Def down. Sanks answers back, but he gets dropped to 12 HP. And now it's going to be a 3-on-3 possible take here. It looks like they've got a little bit of mid control, and they're going to work their way to the vent side. And now Lucky's got to be really careful. He's got players in his face. He's going to have to hightail it over to the B-bomb site because that looks like where they're going to be rotating to. Mainline is also here in mid, rotating towards the B-bomb site. So they're actually leaving Relics up on boost by himself. And if they decide to take mid control and go up highway, this is going to be really scary for Relics. Roka coming around the corner is going to spot him out. I don't know if he actually
He didn't
saw
see him.
that he's up there, and there you go. Relics is at least going to get one, so it's still in a 2v2, and Sanks is very low.
The rotation, though, as we can see, is not going to catch any of the players from compLexity out in the open. Mainline gets himself on the highway too slowly, and Sanks, however, he's got 12 HP, so he's going to have to sit back and relax here. This puts all that pressure back onto Shinobi to get aggressive here and try to find at least one of these kills. With Sanks sort of sitting back here is a bit of a mystery later on in the round. Pop Flash is good, connects on a Lucky, but there's no peek from either of these players. So they're going to push forward. Down goes Sanks. They should already know Shinobi's here in quad, so Mainline just waits for the peek from him. Perfect retake from enemy. They'll find their 6th round, just one more away from tying things up.
Yeah, and again, this is a great recovery from the enemy GG side. And again, you know, we saw the early damage going out, and then the recovery comes back with that pop flash into A main. So Uber capitalizing on that, picking up 2 kills. He's now the top fragger on the enemy GG side at 12. We saw him go big in the last map, even though they didn't get the W. He went very large in the last map, ended up with, I think, 29 or 30 kills in a 16-12 loss. So he was able to do a lot of work for his team in the last one. It's good to see him still, you know, kind of on fire right now, working his way through the CT side of Cash. But, you know, now we're very close. 6-7 is the score. Enemy GG still 1 round behind compLexity. But it could all kind of crumble here for compLexity if they lose this round.
Identical setup for compLexity from what we saw in the previous round this time, but it looks like they're actually going to move 2 players out to take some mid control, whereas in the last round, they sort of just went directly out on towards that A-bomb site. And also not going to find an earlier pick, too, that Fraud managed to find. He's in the same position, but everybody from enemy sort of just leaving it wide open this time as they've decided to move Relics inside of A main instead. He won't be finding anything here. He'll get himself probably a duel versus Sanks in a moment if he remains quiet, but now Kusta starting some work, managing to pick off that, finding a second kill on towards Roka. Relics picking up 1 himself before being traded out by Fraud, but now it's a 2 versus 4, and they've stopped dead in their tracks. They need to try and pick up the pace here to get themselves onto the site. Uber tries to hold, but actually Shinobi takes him down, survives with 6 HP. Doesn't matter though, as he's going to combo it into a second kill for himself. Now it's down to Lucky and Mainline to try and clutch this out, and Shinobi balls to the wall, goes in there, tries to take a duel. Not going to work out very well for his favor as he's dropped by Lucky, and now Fraud just trying to move out here, take some of these duels. But Lucky will take him out of the picture too, so enemy, they tie the game up now as we head into the final round.
And we're going to have a pause here as Sanks dropped from the server. So coming into the final round now, kind of money starved on the compLexity side. They're going to have, you know, Pistol on Def. Coming back in here, Sanks' money is still correct. So 34.50 for him. So it's going to be a very limited buy here from compLexity. But we saw Roka's pistol work the last time that they were on a save going towards that A-bomb site. So we'll see if that's where they decide to go again. Or if they decide to revamp their strategy, because they really haven't been teasing that bomb site too terribly much. The last couple of times that they did, they got pretty much shut down and annihilated over there. So, again, that's 5 rounds in a row now for enemy. It was 7-2 at one point, so keep that in mind, guys.
And with compLexity now, we can see there's not really going to be a very big investment in this last round. They force up everything they can, obviously, but we're still missing 2 rifles. Fraud and Def have to downgrade themselves to the Tech 9s, and for those that have actually bought the AKs, look at the utility. There's nothing. Roka and Sanks literally don't have any grenades, not even a decoy, and Shinobi only has a smoke. So there's not really going to be a whole load of options for compLexity in terms of an execute.
Yeah, so again, right into this one we go, and it looks like they are at least sending a couple of players to probe over here for information at the B-bomb site. And Lucky, again, aggressive behind the smoke. There's this little bit of a gap here. He was able to catch a player the last time, almost catch 2 through that the last time that they played that smoke play. But this time he's going to be a little bit more passive, falls back into the site, not going to overexpose himself. And compLexity doing the right thing, going slow this round. And now Kusta is going to creep up, and he's going to get the first blood again. And now they're going to try to push on in behind this. It's actually going to be that vent play again, but Shinobi with 2, Roka with 1, and this is crumbling very, very quickly for enemy.
No one getting aggressive to take down Kusta inside of CT main as of yet, but they don't even need to. Roka just finds him through the smoke, eliminating him, already with full control of that B-bomb site, and Relics is going to try to sneak inside of the vents, but he's being flanked by Shinobi. He's going to peek back out. Relics should have an advantage, though, but Shinobi's aware of his position. It doesn't matter, though, as Shinobi was already low, down to around 30 HP, so he'll take him down, but the problem now is his position's been given away, so the double molly.
It's a bed of fire.
The floor is literally lava now for Relics, so he has to wait this out. There's no saving, obviously, but they pretty much read the book, so it's going to be very tough to pull off this 1-on-3.
He's going to go ahead and drop a Molotov out, and there's the peek from upper. Def is going to go ahead and decapitate him. 8-7 for compLexity. Moving into the second half, but a very close matchup so far. And we'll see if the terrorist side of enemy can do anything to close out this matchup. So we got ourselves a good one for the final matchup of the evening. It's been blowouts pretty much all night. Well, the first two matches were blowouts. The third match wasn't too much of a blowout, 16-12, even though it was a pretty solid terrorist side half from compLexity on train. So 8-7 moving forward. Pistol rounds should be coming very shortly, guys.
Yep, we're just waiting for those ready ups to roll in here. I imagine it would happen pretty quickly since it's getting a bit late now for these teams, at least for those of us that are on the East Coast. So, yeah, we've readied up quite fast. And here we go, guys. Now enemy jumping onto the terrorist side and compLexity on the CT side to continue off our final match of the night here at the ESL Pro League for North America.
Alrighty, so 8-7 the scoreline. compLexity holding a 1-round lead. And Relix is dancing with a street sign. Is this his pregame ritual going into... Okay, there we go. So that's what he was doing. Oh, and he actually just goosed Roka. So that's fun. So that's what he was trying to do.
But now as they push their way into this A-bomb site, Def just falls to Uber, picking up an easy kill there. And now they're actually, getting super aggressive too. Kusta getting one with a triple shot. Shinobi trading that out. Sanks finds one on Highway, but they still hold control. They're pretty much everywhere else on the map. So they haven't found a really good angle to actually push back in towards the Z bomb city to make the retake plausible. And now Roka keeping his head down. He's like, you don't see me. You don't see me. They do see him, however, but they've fallen away now because of the fact that Sanks peeks in from A main. And this could be a potential pushback in from Roka. Picks up one kill onto Lucky, and his teammate found one too peeking in from A main. So they caught them completely amiss, and then Sanks just rushes in there, takes down mainline. The round is spun on its head yet again, as compLexity will actually get to keep their lead going.
Great retake from compLexity. Once they got in and got that bomb planted, I figured that round was going to be over. But a 2v3 retake coming out from Sanks and Roka. They were both extremely lit. They just hit some really nice shots. And they're able to get the defuse with plenty of time. So nicely done from them. They win. Did they win all the pistol rounds tonight? I'm pretty sure they won every single pistol round. No, enemy won the train T-side pistol, I think.
There's been too much... It's been too much lunacy for me to remember that far back, to be completely honest. Between the update and some of the rounds. Yeah.
You're out. You're out of your element. I'm pretty sure that enemy won the pistol round on their terrorist side of train.
All right, so they're going to go for a quick take, or quick fake, as it would be here, of the A-bomb site. However, it's working initially, at least, as they pick up one kill there off of the hands of Uber.
Great.
Fraud holds him back, but as you were mentioning there, it works great because they pulled him off at Roka, holding his own. He gets dinked down to 24 HP, but then Relix...
Oh my god, Roka!
They just walk into his spray.
Tamperino.
Easy 2 additional kills. And that's it. compLexity shut down that round.
There's a little trigger control for you, boys. What do you think of that one? Nicely done, Roka. He's had a couple of highlight rounds as well, and that's just, I mean, he's a machine. Headshot machine. He's the North American screen, boys.
Okay, so that's a bit of an upset for enemy, especially considering how well that round started off. But now they're just going to go for the force here on the third round. It's actually not going to be, that third round big force with the AKs and all that, because they do invest a little bit in that last round. This time we're just going to see the Tech 9 armor buy with a little bit of utility sitting behind it, and they're lining up for a pretty quick push in towards the A-bomb site.
Alright, and there you go. Great nade into A main, and that's going to prompt Duff to actually fall down. He's going to have to switch over to the pistol now, but they're just going to push right on in, taps another one away, swaps out the pistol for another one, but it doesn't matter. Fraud is there for the backup. 3 quick frags for Def. And now we're going to get into the juicy stuff, guys. Into the first gun round we go. 11-7, 4-round lead for compLexity. What kind of response is enemy going to have? And it's actually going to be 3 AKs and 2 Tech 9s, so not really the strongest response.
Not going to get juicy just yet. It's going to take at least one more, well, if they don't win this round, probably take 2 more rounds for that, but we'll see. As they're actually giving compLexity a pretty big lead if these 3 AKs aren't able to impact pretty heavily, and now they're just going to get super aggressive too. Great flashbangs, completely blind, but they're all lined up against the wall. Sanks only able to grab 1 kill. His teammate that was behind him, Death, who was going to roll in, actually falls back, but he still leaves himself out in the open there, a little bit exposed from the forklift angle, so Relix is going to be able to take him down. Fraud finding 1 before that smoke plumes, and he'll be safe behind that, but dropped to 48 HP, and unable to find the second shot. Now Shinobi, who's been the aggressive player from Cull so far, continues this on the CT side, moving in to take down Uber, taking an additional duel. Ooh, almost managing to grab mainline, but it'll just barely win that duel with 15 HP left. Fraud trying to find the trade, but he doesn't want to go for the full peek. He doesn't want to try to get aggressive against him, as the bomb is still not even gone down yet, so they've got plenty of time to play with this. At the same time, ooh, just missing that shot into Relix there too as he went back towards quad.
And this is where things get a little scary. They're going to push in and take one down. Oh, nice shot from Relics, but he gets dinked for his troubles. He's down to 20, and now he's got to compete with Fraud, and Fraud knows that he is low. Unfortunately for him, Relics takes the wide peak and wins the duel, so that's another clutch and another 3-kill round for Relics, and another round on the board for Enemy.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that he's low. He had the rifle. That's what wins the duel. Not the HP. Alright. So Enemy, they win the round. Now we get to the real juicy stuff, I guess you could call it, even though Enemy just won that round. So they're going to have the 4 AKs and the op investment coming in from compLexity, whereas compLexity still have enough money to go for a pretty full buy this time. Only one player having to downgrade to a FAMAS, so it's still going to be a pretty big battle here for control of this map.
Yeah, so back into this one, like you said, Fraud with only the FAMAS. He doesn't have the op. He was able to get one frag last round, but unfortunately it came down to that 1v1 and he lost that. So full investment for the enemy side. They got the op in the hands of Kusta, and he's going to find that early pick, basically doing to Fraud what Fraud did to him in the first half, and Shinobi tries to take the re-aggression and he pays bitterly for it. And now it's going to be Relics over here by Toxic, and he's got 2 players that are going to be pushing up. I don't know if he actually heard the footsteps. He might have, and he did. Roka is going to go down, and there it is. Relics, he is feeling it right now. 2 more kills for him, and Lucky going to get 1 on the def as well, as he was stuck out in the open. That flash actually hit him and stopped his momentum.
He just froze like a statue, man. He didn't even react to that at all, as he was completely blind. So that was perfect timing on that flashbang. And def, unfortunately, is caught a miss and will be shut down there. So compLexity hold their lead for now, but with Enemy bouncing back with a couple of rounds here now, it's going to be close contention to battle for it, especially with this round here, where compLexity are bringing virtually nothing to the table. It's another very light save, as we've been seeing a lot of these North American teams do recently, so it's just P250s this time.
Yeah, and this is a golden opportunity for Enemy to get themselves back into this matchup. 11-10, possible scoreline. Def is going to get mollied out, and he's going to get annihilated. Relics again. Uber's going to chime in. Relics again finds another one, and it's going to be all the way down there at Truck. And Kusta is going to make short work of that. That round just exploded and ended in an instant. And they stacked the site.
Relics is a caravan. Just move it in. Headshot. Headshot. Another one. Another one. Easy pickups for him. But of course, like we were saying before, compLexity didn't really bring anything to the table that round, so it seems to be the case tonight where like all the North American teams on their ecos just like even considering the fact that it's P250s, they just can't even seem to get like 1 or 2 trades here and there, like by lining up a headshot. It's very disappointing eco rounds for the most part this evening.
They go for the boost over on top of the Shroud box. See what they can find. Now, I'm not sure if Lucky was close enough to hear the boost. He was all the way over by the squeaky corridor, so I'm not sure. He might have actually heard them boost up on top there. And if he did, that's going to be very scary for the compLexity side if they do decide to come in towards the A-bomb site. The main line is actually going to open things up at B solo and try to get a little bit of a rotation going, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He gets the pick, and that pulled Sanks off for just a second, but he's going to work his way back towards Truck side. Mid control is completely open for the taking right now, and they've actually filtered a player in towards the B-bomb site, and that's going to be Kusta with the op, looking for an over-peaking Roka.
So they'll get themselves into a little bit of a battle. I'm wondering how much of a distraction this is going to be too, because it's actually like drawn the attention of Sanks. Like the actual play is working its way towards the A-bomb site, and they're going to know this now, so hopefully Sanks will start to wrap back, but Kusta's still in there taking that duel, just really drawing the attention of Uber. Picks up the first entry, and then Lucky follows it up with a second. They've decimated the defenses there. Sanks, at the very least, coming out towards middle, will be able to find one and connect some good damage, actually, on towards Uber, bringing him down to 50 HP, but he technically is still pinched with Kusta winning his own duel versus Roka. There's not a whole lot he'll be able to do except try to find a way out of this and save that rifle.
Yeah, it's a shame Kusta missed a couple of really, I don't want to say easy op shots for him, but plays a nice little game of ring around the rosy with Roka over at B, and ultimately gets him on the rotation out, and comes down to Sanks, and he's the last man standing over here in mid main. So there's not a whole lot that he's going to really be able to do in this round. Looks like he's hunting for Kusta, maybe to try to take the op out of his hands and get that in the hands of Fraud, but he's just going to take the easy way out and go towards terrorist spawn, hold on to his M4 for the next round. We're tied up at 11-11, boys. This one is a barn burner.
Interesting way to put it. Never heard of a barn burner before. Isn't the expression a barn stormer?
Barn stormer, barn burner.
What's a barn burner? I've never...
Same thing. Close matchup. Good
I don't know,
good
man.
matchup.
I feel like storming the barn and burning the barn are 2 different things. That's just me, though.
Barn Burner, an event, typically a sports contest. Hold on.
Oh, it is. All right, it's related to sports. There you go. You don't even have to explain it further. You mentioned the word sports. It's valid.
That is
all
very
right.
exciting or intense.
Look at the damage Sanks is doing, though. Considering the team doesn't have anything else behind it, this rifle is doing work. Finally, he's dropped, though, by Uber. As the rest of the team is trying to push for control of Highway, but they're also slightly boxing them in. They're going to counter boost up in events. This could do some serious damage if they don't catch it or if he can surprise them moving in, but it's going to get mollied, so he has to give it up and fall away.
And they've actually pushed all the way into useless, but Fraud is going to get taken out over in that avenue. So 2 kills back and forth, back to a 3-on-3. Roka, he actually gets the M4 off of Highway, so that's a nice little find for him, but he's got no armor to work with on that. And look at that, Def actually peeks out and catches Relics. I don't know, Relics kind of looked away a little bit when Mainline started shooting. But under the vents, it's going to be Uber, and he finds the first, but now it's answered back. We're on a 1v1. Bomb is over in Toxic Room, just waiting to pounce on one of these 2 sites. Mainline actually picked up 2 kills, and he's going to work his way back towards mid-main, and this is the right play. If he comes out at the right time, he could get the backside of Roka and take him down easily. Looks like he's going to play it safe and go A-main, though.
Yeah, no reason to take a big risk on taking a duel, especially against Roka, too, who's been on point for the most part this entire set. Still leading his team in frags, too, so also with plenty of utility. Just going to take a very safe path, and he's got a lot of time left, 25 seconds. He'll get onto the site very easily. Roka basically just takes the default in-between option, and I think he's actually just waiting for him to go onto the site itself. So now that he realizes it, here's the smoke on the A-bomb site. He'll rotate in, and he actually is getting to his position on Highway quickly enough to where if Mainline tries to relocate to quad, he might actually grab him. So Mainline's kind of stuck here right now. But he does actually go back towards quad, but Roka realizes it, and he takes away about 26 of his HP already.
The other big thing, too, is that Mainline, if he can waste enough time with this duel, then he could drop him.
Ooh!
He could drop a molly on the bomb, but Roka's just going to bunny hop on in and clean him up. So that will be compLexity picking up the round. I believe that was a save round, too. Because no armor investment for Roka.
They only had that one rifle. That was all they had. So it was that one rifle and then like P250s and default pistols. So that's a round that, to be completely honest, compLexity had no business winning. That they yet again managed to escape with.
Really nicely done from Roka. Shades of Foon. So 12 of 11. compLexity going to be on top once again. Full bolstered economy going into this round. Lots of utility to work with as well. And enemy's going to be on a full buy as well. So this is going to be a brawl over at A is what it looks like.
An enemy moving their players right now. A lot of smokes and whatnot going to get tossed in towards that site. And they'll also go for a little bit of mid control now. Quick on the boost. Moving 2 players, 3 players now up through middle. Only one inside of A main. And oh, Fraud. He's way too over peak, so that's an easy pick for Kusta to grab, especially with Fraud missing his first connection shot. Now Sanks going for the peak. He finds one, but Kusta's on point. Shuts down Sanks as well. Now Def trying to wrap back in over here towards the corner spot. Manages to pick up 1 kill, and he hasn't gone down yet. But ultimately, he will fall due to the nice flashbang that was tossed in there. Uber and Lucky shutting out 2 more kills. It's all on Roka in a 1 versus 3. He's been flashed. His position is revealed. There's still so much utility on the side of enemy as well. The odds are most certainly stacked against him at this point.
Yeah, it might just be wiser for Roka to hang on to this rifle to go into the next round because he was able to do so much work on that last save. But he's going to find Kusta. He's going to be able to spot out another player. He's going to get the spray down on Roka, and Uber is on 9 HP. Can he do it again? 1 versus 3. He has no idea that this other player is going to be over here at quad. He's going to peek the wrong way at the wrong time, but this flashbang that comes out from quad is going to be at least enough information. And Roka swings, but Uber's going to win that fight. 12-12 now, tied back up, and an up for Kusta next round.
The game remains very close indeed, but enemy have so much money stacked up now. When you take a look, it was like Uber was sitting at like 12k before this, and I think they know they're on an eco this time too. Uber just bought 2 SMGs, a P90 for himself, and he dropped the UMP. Well, it looks like it's not going to get used though, wherever it went. So that was a bit of a misbuy, it seems.
Could very well be.
Kusta. Yeah, I guess they just misbought that. All right, well, there goes the money.
It's unfortunate.
A little bit. But like I said, they got a crap ton of money, so I guess they can afford that.
Yeah, so we're going to see another stack here on the A bomb site. Flashbang comes into A main. Kusta's going to be there with the op. He's going to take the repeat, finds one on the Fraud. Spamming on through. Kusta's going to find a second, finds a third. And now they know, hey, let's go ahead and push on up towards this A bomb site because we don't have a whole lot to contend with over here now. One more playing in front of Forklift. That's going to be Sanks, and they've got one coming around from mid main. That's going to be Roka. trying to make something happen. Pop flash into Z. That's not going to do the work that he's looking for, and it's going to be Uber to take down one. Lucky going to be able to trade out Sanks after Relics falls, and that's going to be a 13-12 scoreline now. Enemy GG back on top. So we are back and forth tonight on this one, Blue.
compLexity with a really uneven economy at this point, too. Like 6.9k on Roka, whereas some of the other players can like barely afford a FAMAS buy. Like you're looking at Fraud now, he has to buy it up on his own. And he's not going to have any utility sitting behind his buy, where in the meantime, Roka gets an op and full utility behind his, and I think a P250 as well. So it's a little bit of a disconnect now on these players. It's going to cause a very awkward round, but I think compLexity are going to try to get aggressive this time, which is why we have the op sitting on Roka instead of Fraud. Fraud's going to move up now with his teammate and go for a counter boost, so they didn't want to put the op in his hands.
Yeah, Lucky is actually... He's watching for the squeaky push, but if they decide to drop over the boost, he's going to be in a good position to stop this. But Roka is playing solo over at B, and this is going to get real scary. They go for the double peek. Ooh. That's beautifully done. That was a scripted trade right there. Sacrifice mainline so Kusta can take the op out of the B player's hands, and that's exactly how it went down. So really nicely done from enemy. That's exactly what they wanted out of that. And now they're just going to smoke things off, try to pull the rotations, but they still haven't realized that Def is boosted here in mid. And this is kind of the X factor of the round right now. If Def can read this play right, he could annihilate the strategy from enemy.
I think Uber knows something is out there in mid, but he like doesn't know exactly where he is. So he's waiting for this exact peak, and that pays off and huge dividends now, because now they shut down Def. Fraud, he's going to wrap back in, but he's far too late as Uber's starting to push him with the rest of his team now to get control of the B bomb site. It's a 2-on-4. Sanks tries to go to Heaven, but he gets mollied out. There's a smoke in CT main. Oh, they're not looking good, to say the least, and if Fraud pushes in, he's got to battle past like 2 other players from enemy before he can even get in a position outside the site.
Yeah, I really don't see the sense in going for this one. Let enemy get up to 14 rounds. You don't have any money to work with, but they're probably going to force up in the next round regardless. So they want to hang on to the rifles at this point. Relic's pushing outside of B. He's going to get caught by Sank. So at least they're taking a couple of guns away at this point, but the money is pretty good on enemy side. They should be able to buy out. No problem for the next round easily. So 14-12. Enemy GG extend their lead a little bit, but there's still hope left for compLexity. They're saving 2 rifles into the next round. Maybe. Uber is so close.
We're looking at now, gonna try to take down Sanks. Oh, you spotted him like a second too late. That's unfortunate for you, because now you don't get to drop that rifle. And everybody on compLexity, they still keep 2 big M4s in for this round. One's gonna get handed over to Roka. Sanks picks up another one, and this is another force from compLexity as well. Taking a look at it, they actually managed to win. They managed to get quite a few rifles, but they're just gonna go all out here, despite the economy being in quite an abysmal place.
I bet Sanks crapped his pants when Uber walked around there the last, like, half second of that round.
They've seen me. I've been revealed. So, enemy go back to the slower play this time. Obviously firing some shots and whatnot to just hopefully scare somebody out of a hiding spot, but that's just not going to happen. compLexity, at least when you look at Sanks, is playing this position back over here by Forklift once again, which I haven't seen in quite a few rounds previously. He's actually been reserved a little bit more and has been trying to watch out for a highway and mid pushes, but Squeaky Door's already gone open, so try to pay attention to this one. Uber's inside of A main. The rest of the team's actually held back, and you've got Relics watching out for any aggression towards the B-bomb site there as well. Lucky down to 22 HP after he goes for his initial peek, and they got some damage onto Sanks and Def, but now Sanks pushing in, finding a first kill onto Uber. Moving inside of A main, trying to find more, but there's nothing here. So now the team has figured out where's the rest of the play coming in from. And mainline finds 2 kills initially as he drops with Fraud and Shinobi, but Sanks is still doing work here on the save bomb side. He's taking down Lucky. Roka picks up one for himself, and now it's all on Relics, who was initially only supposed to be a player that was just watching for the B halls.
Yeah, but Relics has actually worked his way over here towards B, and this is big because he's at least going to be able to get in here and get this bomb plant to put money in the bank for his team and see if he goes for the CT peak. This would be a kind of a ballsy peak to try to find Roka early on, but he's at least going to get in here and get this bomb plant. Maybe. No, they molly it out. So nice play from Roka delaying. That is the key of this round right now, is just delay the plant, delay the plant. Don't let him get the bomb down. Wait for my teammates to rotate on in, and now we're going to go ahead and take this round.
Relics, another huge clutch potential, but he is being pushed in on all potential angles now. 2 are going to move in from Heaven, another one from T-Man, and they're just going to overwhelm him. Roka, what was that? Roka with the jumps, moves in and does like a 180-degree touchdown kill onto Relics. The style points that he gets just for that, even if he died, would have been incredible. But he shuts it down, and that keeps compLexity in this game.
Roka just doing Roka things. He's got 30 kills now on this matchup, but that's just ridiculous. He was going so fast when he came down out of heaven.
Phase Roka with the trick shots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a full 360 that he did out of heaven. That was nuts. So 14-13, still back within one round is compLexity, and we're going to see another buy round come out from the enemy side. This time they're going to go a little bit faster towards the squeaky side of things. They sent 3 players over here initially at the beginning of the round, but there's 3 CTs in that A bomb site, so little scary, and Roka is back on and off, but it's going to be Shinobi to drop first. Kusta with the opening pick, and they're going to try to crack this bomb site. Main line goes in on Def. Sanks is going to be the last line of defense over here. Vaughn trying to come up highway, but it's just getting decimated. And enemy should be on 15.
Lucky taking a little bit of damage that he necessarily did not need to take. Down to 41 HP, but that should not matter, as of course it's down to the 1 versus 4. Roka, you've been incredible, man, but there are some situations that are just unwinnable. And he has just realized this now, so he's going to start to fall back and look to save this op.
I don't know, man. This guy's never heard of the word unwinnable.
I mean, look, he's like still doing like the bunny hops too. Like, just
of course,
just show it off at this point.
He has no idea though that he's getting flanked out here. He's probably going to die very, very soon, and dead.
So he's flanked out there. Relics with the easy takedown, and they pick up the second op. So looking at a double T-sided op setup now heading into this next round, which should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, especially since pistols, and if they go for a fast push here on the compLexity side, they might be able to catch him off guard. And they buy an extra AK. Maybe Relics is thinking I'll go fast towards B. If I miss my shot, I'm going to fall all the way back towards T-spawn, throw away the op, and pick up the AK.
Because they're going for an A-tick anyway, so he needs to regroup with the team later on. So if for whatever reason, like there's like a huge push, like 3 players to the back B halls, then he can just shut them down. But this is not what's happening. They just keep themselves to a pretty default setup on that B side and don't get aggressive with it. But the A players, they are. You can see Def is pushed back up. They are going to try to boost, I believe. No, actually, they're just going to put Def on top of that little alcove there.
Yeah, just let him sit over there in the corner and wait for the smoke to fade. Wait for a mistake to come out here from the enemy side. And Def's actually got to hurry here. Okay, now he gets back towards MBK.
If they win this round, that would be absolutely crazy, especially with the setup they have going now. And that enemy is actually going to have players moving into the A site later. It's very possible that the 3 that are initially pushing into the A bomb site could get overwhelmed, and they would have to go for a B take instead, and that leads them right into the arms of Roka, who's playing like the instant headshot position. So we will wait and see, but this actually has a potential to be very interesting if enemies slip up.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. This could be treacherous for enemy. You see Uber actually taking mid control. Another pop flash coming out from Roka's side. They know that there's a couple of players over here by A main. Let's see what they do. And there it is. Mainline is just going to come barreling on in over the top. He's going to be able to find 2. Opens up the bomb site. Relics goes in on the Roka. And it's going to be Sanks and Shinobi to try to make something happen. But it's all down to Shinobi now. 1 versus 3. He can't get it done. And that is going to be a 16-13. So they split the series. And it's going to be enemy coming out on top on cash. So it's a good night of Counter-Strike. It's a shame that the first 2 matches were a little bit of blowouts in one direction. But the last 2 matches, very close. 16-12 on Train going the way of compLexity. 16-13 on Cash going the way of enemy.
And that is going to leave the standings for the top 5 or 6 at least as follows. LG and Optic are still tied for first. Now it should be Renegades and Enemy, I believe, tied for 3rd place. But just note, Renegades has a lot less matches played than Enemy at this point. Enemy's current record should be 3-3, whereas Renegades is a 3-1. And then C9 sits behind them at 2-0. So yeah, Pro League continues to develop. And we will be back tomorrow. Mega Man and I will be casting once again with some more matches there. I think that will include the Score Esports match of the week too, which is, I think it's Energy versus C9, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So,
all right.
Yeah, check back tomorrow for that.
Yep, so we will see you guys tomorrow evening, same time, same channel, and you guys have a fantastic evening or morning, depending on where you're from. And from ESL, we're going to see you guys later.